Let's bring in former acting DHS Secretary Chad Wolf to react. Chad, thanks for being here this morning. So as the acting secretary, presumably you may have appointed some of these 30 members, or certainly many were appointed during the Trump administration. How many were there that were fired? What does this all mean? Why?
Well, I'll tell you, the entire council was fired, so all 30-plus members. And you're exactly right. Not only did I appoint many of those members, but a lot of those members were actually holdovers from the Obama administration. So what that council is an advisory council for the secretary. And so it's supposed to be bipartisan. And these are experts in the field of Homeland Security that are supposed to give unvarnished, specific advice to the secretary and to the department to help them do their mission better. And there were about 4 or 5 different lines of effort that were ongoing at the time that I left and that were still ongoing over the last several weeks. And so for the DHS and the secretary to end that without a plan in place, without that next step, is very concerning. It's not the right approach in my mind. Now, the secretary is allowed to have some ability to appoint members who he wants to, but how that usually works is you let terms expire, and those expire over the course of 6, 9, and 12 months, and then you allow him or her to appoint those members. And so, again, unprecedented. We've never seen this before from the department.
You know, Chad, the current administration has discontinued a lot of the policies of the former administration. The Remain in Mexico policy is one that has been cited as a large reason why you're seeing this surge right now. In terms of policy, what is to blame, really, for what's going on? What has been walked back? What has been changed? What can people say if that were reinstated, it would make a difference?
So from a policy perspective, it's certainly our Remain in Mexico program, the MPP program, which allowed individuals who wanted to claim asylum to do so, but they had to wait in Mexico. And what that did is it rooted out the fraud. You knew that individuals weren't going to wait there if they showed up in a court, and you know that 90% of them do not qualify for asylum. They know that as well as we do, and so they weren't going to wait there, and they returned back home. Our asylum cooperative agreements with Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador are also a key factor there that were in place and working. So I think that's another significant factor. But when we talk about children and minors coming over the border, which is really a big part of the surge today, Title 42 Public Health Authority, the administration is currently not using with regards to minors. And so that is a significant pull factor. What we were doing in the Trump administration is those that we would encounter, we would, if they were from Mexico, we would return them to Mexico. But if they were from the Northern Triangle, we would put them on airplanes. We would send them back, reunite them with their family, and that's how it should work. Today, that is not occurring. And so the administration is sending a signal to cartels and smugglers and others that if you get a minor to the border, that minor will stay in the U.S. And so that's why you see a significant amount of minors coming to the border. I think it's estimated in the month of April alone, you're going to have somewhere between 18,000 and 22,000. And these are numbers that we have never seen before as far as minors.
Chad, let me return to this advisory panel firing for one moment. You point out it was bipartisan. It had been appointed over several administrations. So why? Why did this happen? What do you take away from the Biden administration firing everyone?
Well, it's a great question. I think that's only a question really that the secretary can answer at the end of the day. But what I will say is I think that there are a number of individuals on that panel that were somewhat critical of the administration and certainly their approach to border and immigration security. But again, that's what that panel is for, and that's the type of feedback that the secretary needs, unvarnished. The secretary, I know as I did, held a number of phone calls with that group, and so you need to hear all sides of it. What you don't want that group to be is an echo chamber, just repeating and telling you how great you are and the policies that you're doing. You want to hear all sides of it. So my concern would be that the secretary and the leadership of DHS is not getting unvarnished, really both sides of the issue, understanding it from experts in the field. And that's what these individuals on this advisory council are. They're just not pulled out of the hat. These are experts that are researched, have background checks, and are on this advisory committee, all volunteering, of course, to help the department do their job.
Great insight as always, Chad. Thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.